What's up, everybody? Welcome to the third episode of the Liderazgo para Todos podcast, or Leadership for Everyone. Thank you so much for listening. Our goal is to help you develop your leadership potential wherever you are. Before we get started, I want to let you know that we'll be launching our first course in April called Influence: How to Become a Leader Worth Following. I want to teach you 8 habits that will transform your life and leadership so that you can increase your ability to influence yourself and others. Each habit will include a video lesson, an outline to follow, and a project to help you put it into practice. Stay tuned for more info. In this third episode, I want to talk about what self-leadership is. We've already talked about what leadership is and who it is for. Now it is time to start talking about how to lead ourselves well. Self-leadership is the ability to positively influence yourself to create change and accomplish goals. So let's talk more about it. Let me ask you a question. When do you become a leader? Is it when you have a title, or when you have a position of authority? Is it when you have a lot of influence, or when you have a lot of followers? Is it when you get to tell people what to do? These are certainly aspects of leadership, but it is not when leadership starts. Leadership starts long before titles and positions. Leadership starts the moment you try to lead yourself. Before you can lead a team, before you can lead an organization, before you can influence others, you have to start with yourself. The first and most important person you need to lead is yourself. Oftentimes, the most difficult person to lead is yourself. If you can learn to lead yourself well, then you can lead anyone well. Remember, the most important thing about you in leadership is your personal example. The better you lead yourself, the better your example will become. The better your example becomes, the more people will want to be influenced by you and be led by you. So, how do we do this? How do we begin to lead ourselves well? I want to share with you the 5 most important things you can start doing now to become an influential leader to others. You can look at it as a leadership test. If you can develop in these 5 areas, then you are probably ready to lead other people. So let's get started. Number 1, manage your thoughts. One of the most important ways you can lead yourself well is by learning to manage your thoughts. Why? Because your thoughts determine your actions. What you think determines what you do. Bad thinking leads to bad living, but good thinking leads to good living. Here's a couple of suggestions on how to manage your thoughts. First, choose to have positive thoughts rather than negative ones. Research suggests that positive thinking can lead to lower rates of depression, lower levels of stress, lower risk of illnesses, and an increase in lifespan. That doesn't even mention the ways it will help your relationships and those that are around you. Positive thinking doesn't mean you ignore life's difficulties. It just means you choose to be optimistic rather than pessimistic. It means believing for the best rather than expecting the worst. Second, talk nicer to yourself. Self-talk is the conversations you have with yourself throughout the day. If you are always discouraging yourself, doubting yourself, criticizing yourself, then you're going to be angry, irritated, and stressed. The way you talk to yourself says a lot about your confidence and your identity. Negative self-talk comes down to insecurities. So be kind to yourself, and it will lead to more confidence and optimism. Third, tell yourself the truth. The hardest person to tell the truth is yourself. Be honest with your faults and your shortcomings. accept the things you need to get better at, the sooner you stop making excuses for yourself, the faster you will start making progress for yourself. Number 2, manage your emotions. Study after study has proven that being emotionally healthy is more important in leadership than being intelligent or talented. Emotional intelligence is one of the most important skills you can learn as a leader. Why? Because leadership is about relationships, and relationships are about emotions. Healthy relationships come from people with healthy emotions, and unhealthy relationships come from people with unhealthy emotions. So how do we learn to lead our emotions well? The first step is understanding that your emotions are good. Some people have been taught that emotions are bad and they get in the way of success. Some people are taught to ignore their emotions or suppress them because they don't want to be labeled too emotional. The fact is, your emotions are part of who you are. They are interconnected with your brain, your body, your nervous system, your facial muscles. All of your emotions serve a purpose, even the ones we commonly think of as bad. Fear can protect you from danger. Anger can help you to overcome an obstacle. And sadness can help you to do some personal reflection. If we understand that our emotions are good, then we will have a much easier time letting them run their course and helping us to thrive. The second step is to understand how to regulate your emotions. Our emotions are good and natural, but they can hurt us when they come at the wrong time or at the wrong level of intensity. It is in these moments that we need to try to take control of our emotions. Emotions are often automatic reactions to situations in life, but there are opportunities for us to influence or manage them. One way to do this is to avoid situations that are likely going to cause you to have strong negative emotions. There might be certain people that bring out the worst in you, or certain situations like rush hour traffic that are just best to be avoided. Another strategy is to become self-aware in the moment. If you find yourself in a heated argument, pause and ask yourself, what can I do in this moment to diffuse the situation? There are many more ways to manage our emotions, and we will talk more about strategies in future episodes. What else do we need to manage in order to lead ourselves well? Number 3, manage your values. This may be the most important thing you ever do as a leader or future leader. But what are your values? Your values are core beliefs that guide your decisions and actions and ultimately your purpose in life. They are beliefs that are very important to you and characterize the person you want to be. These beliefs are developed naturally and by the culture you are raised in. Knowing your values will help you focus on what you are passionate about in life and what you are meant to do. There are a few questions you can ask yourself to know what you value. Number 1, what core beliefs define your life? Number 2, who are people you admire and why? Number 3, what are things other people do that really annoy you? Number 4, what beliefs are you willing to lose something over? Once you know what you value, you can focus on doing the things that bring you a sense of purpose and the things that help other people. Remember this, what we want now is rarely what we need most in life. sometimes our decisions are based on what we want right now, but they don't align with our values and don't help us accomplish our purpose. So when we base our decisions on our values, it'll help us stay focused on what is most important instead of on what is immediate. Set goals that move you towards your purpose and let your values decide what you allow and what you remove from your life. Number 4, manage your time. When we think about self-leadership, one of the first things we might think of is time management. For many of us, it's on the top of our list of things we want to get better at. So, how do we manage our time so that we can lead ourselves well? Here's a quick way to reorganize your time that will help you focus on the things that are most important. Start by making a list of every activity that you do and put each activity in one of the following 4 categories. Number 1, things that are important but not urgent. Things like spending time with your family, taking rest days, spending time to create your future, learning a new language, etc. Number 2, things that are important and urgent. Things like going to class, going to work, going to meetings, picking up the kids, etc. Number 3, things that are urgent but not important. Things like daily tasks, daily responsibilities, deadlines, etc. Number 4, things that are not important and not urgent. Things like procrastinating, distractions, checking your phone, wasting time, etc. The goal is to prioritize the things that are important over the things that are urgent. If you create space to do the things that matter most, then you will feel more fulfilled and satisfied with your day and with your life. There are always going to be urgent activities in your life. But if you let those things control you, then you will never find the time that you need to fulfill your purpose and accomplish your passion. Lead yourself well by prioritizing what is important over what is urgent. Number 5, manage your attitude. Our attitudes are different than our emotions. Let me explain the difference. Our emotions are feelings that arise when we experience a certain situation. They are linked to our brain, to our nervous system. They happen naturally and automatically, and they're often very difficult to control. Our attitudes, however, are beliefs that we acquire after experiencing life events. They determine what we like, what we don't like, what we want to do, and what we don't want to do. Since our attitudes are learned behaviors, we can choose to allow them or choose to change them. And here's the cool thing about attitudes. We can't always change our abilities or our skills, but we can always change our attitude. And oftentimes, it's our attitude, not our skills or our talents, that help us to become better leaders. Let me give you some suggested attitudes to adopt into your life that'll help you develop your leadership potential. First, be punctual. Show up on time. Keep your commitments. Second, be dependable. Do what you are asked and finish what you start. Third, be a team player. Learn to work well with others and do what is best for the team. Fourth, be a self-starter. Don't wait for others to tell you what to do. If you see a problem, go and solve it. Fifth, be productive. Be someone that gets results and gets things done. Sixth, be positive. Be someone that others enjoy being around and make it a habit to encourage those around you. Seventh, be humble. Don't make everything about you and don't feel like you have to take credit for everything. All of these are attitudes and behaviors anyone can do. You don't have to be skilled, talented, or special to do them. And believe me, they will help you to get noticed as a leader. Let me finish this episode with some application. Here's a quote from Rich Wilkerson Jr. He says, "Many people want to impact the world, but very few people want to impact themselves." This is such a good reminder when we think about self-leadership. You may feel like you are destined to do great things and impact a lot of people, and I hope you do. But if you cannot have a positive impact on yourself, you will never be ready to impact others. Remember, don't despise small beginnings. People who do great things don't start that way. They start out doing small things, being faithful with a little. Over time, their influence grows, and eventually they are able to make a big impact on the world. And here's a challenge I want you to try this week. Pick one of the 5 areas that you want to manage better. Maybe it's your thoughts, maybe it's your emotions, maybe it's your attitude. Whatever it is, make a plan and identify 3 practical ways you can manage it better. If it's your thoughts, for example, identify which thoughts need to change and what you are going to do to change them. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you enjoy the podcast, please subscribe to it so you can receive new episodes automatically. Also, leave us a review so that more people can discover this podcast. And share it on social media. It helps us so much. Remember, leadership is not just for someone. Leadership is for everyone. See you next time.